Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. Are you tired of feeling like your goals are always just out of reach? Like you're spinning your wheels, working hard but not really seeing the changes you want in your life? I get it. I've been there. We've all been there. Well, today we're diving into a framework that can change everything. We're talking about Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that's not about massive leaps and overnight transformations, but about the surprisingly powerful impact of small changes done consistently. Now, most of us are obsessed with massive, earth-shattering achievements. We want to lose 50 pounds overnight, launch a $1 million business tomorrow, and write a best-selling novel by next week. And when those big moments don't magically happen, we get discouraged and often give up. It feels overwhelming, right? But what if I told you the path to success wasn't about massive action, but about tiny, consistent improvements? What if the real magic happens when you focus on a series of small wins? That's the core idea of Atomic Habits. And trust me, it's a game changer. In this episode, I'm going to break down the most important lessons of this incredible book. And I'll give you some actionable steps you can use today to start building better habits and breaking the bad ones. We're not just going to talk about theory here, folks. We'll get into the practical stuff you can start doing after you stop listening to this very episode. Are you ready? Let's jump in. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, isn't just some academic sitting in an ivory tower. He experienced the power of small habits firsthand. After a brutal head injury, which he almost died from, his athletic career seemed over. He wasn't born naturally gifted. He was forced to start small and build himself back up. He had to use this system of small improvements consistently to get where he wanted to be. He'd spend hours on small things. That looked insignificant at the moment. He'd work on small habits each day, like getting to sleep on time, doing weights, and studying. Over time, these things built into something more and more powerful. And in the end, he managed to come out of the ordeal a winner. And that brings us to our first big point. Why do small habits matter so much? Well, it's all about compounding. Think of it like compound interest. Let's say you want to lose weight. It might be tempting to try a crash diet. But what if you could start by losing just 1% of your weight each day? Not very impactful, right? Seems like nothing. But after 1 year, that small change will compound so significantly that you'd be 37 times better than where you started. This same process works for any habit. Get just 1% better every day, and those tiny changes will accumulate into a dramatic improvement. Now, the real question is, how exactly do we build these atomic habits? Well, Clear breaks it down into 4 fundamental laws of behavior change. Think of them as the 4 cornerstones of habit building. 1. Make it obvious. The first step to building any habit is to notice the cues that trigger the behavior. What's triggering your good and bad habits? Clear tells us that the 2 main cues that trigger behaviors are our time and place. What time and in what place do your bad habits occur? You have to become more aware of your current behaviors to change them. Action step. Clear suggests a habits scorecard. Write down your habits each day. For every single habit, put a plus for the good ones, a minus for the bad ones, and equals for the neutral ones. You will now be able to see a clear map of your habits. Practical application. If you want to work out more, place your workout clothes by the door. If you want to stop eating junk food, avoid the snack aisle at the grocery store. Make the good habit cues more obvious and the bad ones invisible. 2. Make it attractive. Let's face it, habits aren't always fun. That's where the power of attractiveness comes in. Key point. We don't actually want the habit itself, but the feeling it gives us. We don't crave a cigarette. We crave the feeling of relaxation it provides. Action step. Start to pair your desired habits with something you already enjoy. Clear calls this temptation bundling. Practical application. Listen to podcasts only when you're walking on the treadmill. Watch a guilty pleasure TV show, but only while you're doing chores. This will make those often difficult activities a lot more enticing and make you more likely to do them. Let's shift over to the negative and how to break bad habits. The book gives us these 4 points as a mirror image of the 4 main points. 1. Make it invisible. The first thing we can do to help get rid of a bad habit is to make the cues less present. Key point. Cues can be extremely powerful and difficult to get rid of. Action step. Take all cues for the habits that you are trying to change and either hide them away or completely get rid of them. Practical application. Hide all the junk food in the back of your pantry so it's difficult to see them, or completely get rid of them, if you can. Move the TV from your bedroom. 2. Make it unattractive. The opposite of the attractiveness principle is to find ways to make the bad habit unenticing. Key point. You have to shift your mindset in regards to the habit you are trying to break. Action step. Highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits. Practical application. Remind yourself of the money you'll be saving by not buying that junk food, or think of how much better you'll be sleeping if you don't spend time on the phone before bed. Let's go back to the building good habits. This next law is super important because it acknowledges one of the core laws of nature. We're lazy by nature, and we want what is easy. 3. Make it easy. Key point. We're motivated to take action when we can see there will be minimal work. The more energy required, the less likely it is to occur. Action step. Use the 2-minute rule. If you want to start reading more, start by committing to read just 1 page. If you want to exercise more, commit to just putting on your workout shoes. You want to make the entry point to your desired habit as small as possible. Practical application. Set out your clothes for the next day, move the books you're reading next to your bedside table, or organize your work desk. Start with the least amount of work possible and build up from there. The last 2 laws are a mirror image. Let's talk about how to make bad habits. Difficult. 3. Make it difficult. Key point. The more energy required, the less likely it is to occur. Action step. Create a commitment device. Practical application. Leave your phone in another room. Delete the streaming app off your phone, so you have to re-download it again when you want to watch something, making it more tedious to watch. You can also do what the author did and change your passwords on social media platforms so they are more difficult to access, okay? Last law. This one's about creating a positive feedback loop and reinforcing good behavior. 4. Make it satisfying. Key point. We're more likely to repeat a habit when it feels good to do so. The reward has to feel good to us. We need immediate reinforcement of our good habits. Action step. Track your progress visually with a habit tracker. See the pattern of consistency growing. Use rewards to make your desired habits more immediately gratifying. Practical application. For every successful workout, you buy yourself a new piece of workout gear. For every book you read, you reward yourself with a relaxing bath. For every work task that you complete, you reward yourself with a walk in the park. This also has a mirror, which is about how to make bad habits unsatisfying. Key point. You are less likely to do something that feels painful to do. Action step. Set up accountability so there is an immediate cost. Have someone else track your progress. Create a habit contract where a missed goal has a known consequence. Practical application. Put money up with a friend so that you have to give them money when you don't do the habits you're trying to accomplish. This creates an immediate consequence and pain to the process. And here's the real secret to mastery. Avoid losing consistency. Life will get in the way sometimes. You won't be perfect. But here's one incredibly useful rule I picked up from the book, Never Miss Twice. When we mess up, most of us spiral into a cycle of self-blame and then get lazy or lose motivation. Don't allow one missed workout to turn into 2 or 3 or 4 missed workouts. The first missed action is just a blip on the radar, but if you miss twice, then you're starting a new bad habit. Get back on track as quickly as possible. The people who rebound quickly are the ones who stay consistent over time. And that's it. The major lessons of James Clear's Atomic Habits. Now remember, lasting change isn't about huge leaps or overnight fixes. It's about making small, consistent improvements that accumulate into remarkable results over time. It's about showing up when it's not exciting and even when you don't want to. It's about falling in love with the process instead of the results. And it's about focusing on the system of habits rather than any individual goal. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.